I read the LA Times almost every single day, and they are notorious for misleading the public.
Uh-oh. KK Caroline got a little butthurt again today because someone in the press pointed out that she's defending literal fucking Nazis. And we'll get to the full story of what happened to this 15-year-old child outside of his school in just a second. And it is an incident that I promise will be tacked on to the Trump Nuremberg trials. And already even has MAGA podcaster Joe Rogan sounding like an immigrants' rights advocate over it. But first I want to show you how Christian KK Caroline reacted to it. And you let me know in the comments what level of Dante's Inferno this bitch belongs in.
ICE agents detained a 15-year-old student with disabilities outside an LA high school, even leaving bullets on the sidewalk. How does the Trump administration plan to ensure parents that their children can return to school without fear of being wrongfully detained or endangered by federal agents?
Where'd you see that report?
LA Times.
Okay, well, I'll have to look into the veracity of that report. I read the LA Times almost every single day, and they are notorious for misleading the public. I'm sure there's more to that story than the way that you just characterized it. I will gladly go check on that report, and I'll get you the facts. Thank you, everyone.
ICE agents detained a disabled 15-year-old boy outside Arleta High School in Los Angeles after mistaking him for someone else. District officials say ICE agents also left bullets on the ground outside the high school. The LA School District is now offering safe passage to school and offering online classes.
All right, first of all, Caroline with a K-U-N-T, the LA Times is about 1,000 times more reputable than whatever Trump shits into your gaping mouth to then get regurgitated on the White House press stage. You White House Barbie bimbo ass kisser. Engaging in personalities aside, of which you have fucking none, I've done the due diligence your entire White House staff seems incapable of by doing a fucking Google search to bring you the actual horrific details of what happened.
Border Patrol agents raid Arleta High School this morning, taking a 15-year-old boy with special needs into custody at gunpoint, only to realize it was a mistake. The raid has prompted officials with the LA Unified School District to announce new measures to ensure students can travel to and from campus safely.
Carlos Salcedo is live in Arleta with the latest on the raid and reaction from parents and other students. Carlos?
Michael Sherry, good evening. This immigration enforcement operation happened on the sidewalk right outside the high school. Students were here for orientation when they see a handful of Border Patrol agents. The armed agents even dropped bullets here on the ground. And tonight, as you can imagine, parents and school district officials are calling the actions unacceptable and careless.
Oh, it gets worse. But first of all, mistaken identity, and they left bullets on the ground outside of a school? Talk about a lack of professionalism. No wonder you have people in DC harassing and booing agents like this.
That's a real cop. No, he harasses citizens. He's not a real cop.
Or doing what this absolute hero did and giving them the actual respect they deserve by hurling Subway sandwiches at them. Just wait. Yeah, that guy. Janine Pirro announced they're charging him with a felony, throwing a wrapped Subway sandwich at an ICE officer who's so unfit he can't even catch the guy as he runs away. Fucking grade A losers you got in your Gestapo there, especially when they have to pick on children.
This is video of Border Patrol agents surrounding a vehicle outside Arleta High School Monday morning. Agents are seen detaining a 15-year-old student with disabilities as his grandma was inside the car while a relative was registering for classes at the school. The teen, who goes to nearby San Fernando High, was later released on the grounds of mistaken identity.
I was very upset because our kids shouldn't have to be going through this and being scared of coming to school, or their parents dropping them off.
Soon after, parents like Yvonne received this voice message from the principal informing them of the incident.
We are aware of reports of immigration enforcement activity in the area.
Many parents we spoke with call the presence of federal agents near public school campuses shameful.
The government, our administration had stated that they were going to go after criminals. At a school, what criminals are you going to find kids trying to enroll?
That is disturbing, it is heartbreaking, it is reprehensible.
LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho addressed the matter during a back-to-school press conference with other school and city leaders.
This young man was placed in handcuffs, presumably based on mistaken identity.
Ahead of the start of the school year, the district has been in touch with 10,000 families potentially impacted by immigration enforcement efforts. They've rerouted bus stops, deployed 1,000 central office staff to assist in school zones, and have virtual options available for those too scared to leave their homes.
And we are gathered here today to talk about protecting our children from the federal government. That is a profound moment.
While the district promises there are safety measures in place, some parents fear that their children will be a target simply because of the color of their skin, regardless of immigration status.
He fits that category, where he's like a little bit on the darker side, and I feel like that's who they're attacking.
Now, we reached out to the Department of Homeland Security multiple times regarding this case of mistaken identity. We never heard back. LAUSD goes back in session this Thursday.
And like I said, even MAGA is turning on them. On Joe Rogan's podcast yesterday, he pushed back on Representative Anna Paulina Luna over her conspiracy theory that ICE protests in Los Angeles were orchestrated by Chinese money. But thankfully, even he wasn't buying it.
All of a sudden, these pop-up riots, I actually called them the Timu riots. This is a Chinese-funded group, and what they're doing is they're using that front in an effort to then divide on that topic as well.
I absolutely believe this is true, that I'm sure other countries fund similar things, but also it was in reaction to some of the ICE raids, right? I mean, it was a visceral reaction that a lot of people had, the idea of people just showing up and pulling people out of schools and pulling people out of Home Depot and pulling people that were just hardworking people that maybe snuck over here because they didn't have a legal way to get over here. But since they've been here, they've been good people and they're a part of communities. And that's what freaks people out, because when people thought about ICE, they thought, great, we're going to get rid of the gang members. They didn't think, great, you're going to get rid of a landscaper. There's a reason why we have borders. But the thing that freaks people out is how many corporations rely on illegal labor?
Oh,
how many
Chicken Farm's one of them. Last year, I was putting out some messaging on them because I'd watched this documentary about the slaughterhouses, how they're actually using migrant children, 14, 15, in some of these slaughterhouses. And the lobbyist from Tyson Chicken Corporation contacted my chief of staff at the time and was trying to basically say hey, basically back off, but I don't care, it's wrong, I don't care where you're on the spectrum, you shouldn't allow migrant labor with children specifically, because child slave labor.
I'll tell you a story that a high-level government official told me.
Okay.
I don't know if he said it on here or not, so I don't want to say his name.
Wait, so he was on here, so then that narrows it.
Fucked up.
Okay, it's okay.
Someone actually said to him that they don't want to stop the illegal immigration because they need cheap labor.
Correct. I actually think that it'll never stop, at least not in Congress.
That they don't have to pay them any benefits. They don't have to take care of their insurance.
Or pay them at all.
Well, they pay them, but they don't have to pay them what they're supposed to pay them.
Well, I've heard cases where people, specifically contractors, will walk on people if they know that they're here illegally. I do think that unless we are able to assign probably more lawyers, more judges to actually hear these cases, it's going to continue to be a problem. And I have heard, on the floor, these are conversations between members, that to a certain extent, especially when you're talking about, an e-verify system within the ag industry, that actually members of that committee don't want that because they know that the farmers are actually heavily relying on some of these illegals to work in their fields.
And construction crews and fill in the blank.
So I can confirm that.
Yeah.
That's
so
legitimate.
Isn't the solution force people to pay everybody exactly the same way?
Well, yeah, because you don't have the decrease in wages. However, I think the bigger problem that we have here, though, is that at least specifically in my district, and then also to having argued this, is that this gray area that's been created, in my opinion, they don't want a solution for. They do it intentionally with the understanding that both sides are going to fundraise off of it. In my opinion, if I was to be able to actually fix this, I would say that you have to, pause, let the system run through, take everyone in, vet them, make sure that they're not criminals, etc. But then the system allows time for it to actually catch up to itself, and then you can continue as is.
What you just said was so scary, that they don't want to resolve it because they want the issue to exist so they could fundraise for it against it.
Yeah.
That's so nuts and probably so accurate.
Wow, what a brilliant epiphany. Now at least we know the answer to the question, how many MAGA morons does it take to reach the most fucking logical conclusion? Because clearly, it's not Chinese money inciting people to protest. It's the heinous dystopian Nazi-esque acts of Trump's Gestapo and militarization of entirely peaceful cities in order to hunt down undesirables and children to try to send hardworking immigrants to fucking concentration camps. Next thing you know, Donald Trump's gonna be sending ICE into fucking Miss Universe pageants to find him 14-year-old girls for his elite White House PDF file ring. I hate to say it, because it's just not who I am, usually, but I cannot wait for the pendulum to swing the other way and to fill up Alligator Alcatraz with MAGA morons and, frankly, everyone in this administration. You get what you put out into the world, and frankly, at least statistically and historically speaking, metaphorically, it seems like the thing that's gonna come around for Trump and all of his cohort is the fucking guillotine. And it's no wonder these people didn't respond, the DHS, A, because they're too busy botching all of these recent raids that they probably can't respond to all the requests for comments because there's so much that they're screwing up, and they can't even keep agents. They're having people quit in record numbers. But look, here's the good news. We're already seeing these obvious cracks in what these fascists are doing. I gave out my personal email in yesterday's video, and thank you to everyone who wrote me. It's not open to can of worms. Everyone's been great. They've sent me well wishes as well as information, and I got this piece of information that I would like to share, with Heather from Canada writing that Jen Taub has a podcast every morning, and she showed a clip a couple months back of someone named Erin Chenoweth, who has a PhD and did her work on examining the toppling of governments, and her study showed that if 3.5% of a population protested peacefully in a sustained, organized way, it can topple regimes. That is merely 3 to 4 million Americans in our population of like 330 million. We already have 600, almost 700,000 subscribers in our Really American Resistance here, and we are a part of a growing ecosystem of other great channels like Midas Touch, Brian Tyler Cohen, Adam Mockler, Jack Cocciarella, Luke Beasley, each of those with multiple millions of followers. So if we continue to do this work, to call it out day in, day out, and you guys continue to watch, to support, to subscribe, to like, to comment so that these videos get out there, not only will we continue to grow this digital resistance, holding this administration accountable day in and day out, but in the long term, we can even turn this into real IRL political action and start to come together with these other creators and really build something bigger. A true resistance. Midas Touch works with the 50-51 protests. And now we're seeing it not only in LA, but in DC and everywhere Trump tries to force his fascist little weenie in. We will be there to fight back. So thank you all for all of the support. Feel free to email me. I love hearing from you guys. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I will see you all in the next one.